Riccardo Calafiori is the most sought-after defender in the world right now. That's hardly surprising, considering he just finished carrying Bologna and the Italian national team on his back. But with Italy now out of Euro 2024, we'll be taking a closer look at his skills, attributes and stats to prove that he is currently the best defender in the world. So, who is this defender with so much aura, or grandeciola like the Italians call it? On the 19th of May 2002, Riccardo Calafiori was born in Rome, Italy. Destined for greatness, AS Roma snapped him up early, and from just age 9, it was evident he would follow in the footsteps of Totti and De Rossi in becoming a Roma legend. He signed his first professional contract with the club at age 15 and was instrumental in Roma winning the Under-17 league and Cup double. Such was his talent that the late super agent Mino Raiola became his representative. But a few months later, something terrible happened that almost cost him everything. In 2018, Calafiori was the victim of a horror tackle in a UEFA Youth League match against Victoria Slen. The injury was so bad, it tore his knees to pieces. The doctor said the injury was similar to the trauma of a motocross accident. In simple terms, it was a career-ending injury. He was flown to the United States for surgery and began a long rehabilitation process. 347 days later, he returned to the pitch in a match for the Roma reserves. The journey was definitely the hardest thing I faced, he told Roma TV following his recovery. I had a knee that was 3 times the size of the other one. He spent the remainder of the season playing for the Under-19 side and made the senior matchday squad 3 times. He scored in the final 3 matches of the season before the Youth League was suspended due to COVID. After lockdown, Roma coach Paulo Fonseca handed the youth player his senior debut. He played as a left wing-back against Juventus and won a penalty for Roma. He also scored, but the goal was disallowed due to an offside as his club won the game 3-1. He repaid the faith of his manager by scoring an absolute screamer in a Europa League match against Young Boys. He continued to show his class whenever he was called upon, and the Roma fans were optimistic they had unearthed another idol like De Rossi or Totti. However, his coach insisted he needed time to grow without so much pressure on his shoulders. Suddenly treating him like he's the best player in the world right now is not helpful for the player, the Portuguese warned, but we trust he'll have a great future. Unfortunately, Fonseca and Roma parted ways and Jose Mourinho was brought in. Things didn't go to plan for the young left-back under Mourinho, with the manager bringing Matthias Vina to compete with Spinazzola for the left-back role. After a shameful 6-1 loss to Bordeaux Glimt, everything came crashing down when he and some others were frozen out of the team. After an unsuccessful loan spell at Genoa, the once promising young player was sold to Basel for just £2.2 million. He got a new lease of life playing in Switzerland as he got more game time. His confidence, his strength and ability all showed considerable improvement as he was finally getting the love and support he needed. Then, the Basel manager was sacked and replaced by the club's sporting director, Heiko Vogel. After 2 games, the new manager moved him from left-back to centre-back. His composure, tackling and passing range went to a whole new level. His solid performances stirred up fresh interest from all around the world until Bologna and Thiago Motta offered him a way back to his home country. But no one could have predicted what happened next. The coach deployed him as a fluid centre-back capable of carrying the ball up the pitch. His ball-playing ability and passing range were perfect for Motta's slow and patient passing style. He was instrumental in Bologna's crazy season as the team qualified for the Champions League sensationally. Having represented Italy in all the youth categories, he was called up to the senior squad for the first time in May 2024. He got rewarded for his outstanding performance at a club level with a spot on the Euro 2024 squad. He justified his selection by being the only bright spark in the Italians' dismal campaign. He played every minute of the group stage and even chipped in with an assist. The only game he missed, Italy lost and were eliminated from the competition. Now that the world is awakened to the impressive talent of Calafiori, how good a defender is he? Looking at his defensive stats that just concluded Serie A season, Calafiori averaged 6.69 defensive duels per 90 minutes, winning 70% of them. This stat shows how good he is at dispossessing his opponents. He averaged 1 block and 2 interceptions per game to show his ability to read the game brilliantly, and at 6 feet 2 inches tall, he used his large frame to perfectly time jumps as he won 70% of his aerial duels. In the 30 games that he played, Bologna conceded only 19 goals and kept an impressive 15 clean sheets. But With his manager deploying a possession-based approach, he needed a highly technical ball-playing defender, which happens to be Calafiori's biggest asset. Most teams nowadays try to build up and play from the back. Typically, you see two defenders splitting wide with the goalkeeper stepping up between them. Being on the left side of the defense, Calafiori became the main ball progressor with his insane passing accuracy and range. Last season, he boasted an 89.6% pass completion rate. And I know you're thinking he only passes sideways, but you're wrong. He averaged a 72% pass completion rate for his long-range passes, highlighting his quality in that aspect, and 0.61 switches per game, showing his ability to switch the ball from one side to the other. But, unlike other defenders, he offers a lot more in attack. They say a defender's primary role is to defend his goal, but having one that is very effective in attack is a bonus every coach will gladly take. Considering his height, many people expected Calafiori to be a slow player, but he makes a mockery of that stereotype. His pace, long legs and strength allow him to make surging runs into the box. We saw that on full display when he picked the ball from Italy's half and played a 1-2 before running at the defense to set up the assist for Saccagni. When you look at some of his goals, you wonder why a defender has such incredible shooting technique. He finished the season with 2 goals and 5 assists, which are very impressive numbers for a centre-back. However, he's not just a good attacking defender, he's extremely versatile and adaptable to different tactics. As we all know, he began his career as a left-back and continued to play in that position until halfway into the season at Basel. But under Thiago Motta, he played primarily as a left-sided centre-half in the coach's 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 formations, although he occasionally deputised at left-back. This versatility made him a dream player for his club and national team coaches. At Bologna, the team likes to keep possession with short and quick interchange passes. They prefer to slow the tempo down while passing the ball and immediately switch to attack with devastating pace. Thiago Motta took a feather out of Pep Guardiola's hat with his playing style. He would make Calafiori invert and push up into midfield to create a double pivot. He executed this role perfectly because of his technical ability, press resistance, and ability to progress the ball. For Italy, Luciano Spalletti deployed him as a hybrid between centre-half and left-back. He played this way because the left-back, DiMarco, played mostly like a wing-back hugging the touchline. Although both coaches played possession-based football, his national team coach prefers to play at a higher tempo than his club coach. Slow or fast, Calafiori has shown he can adapt and thrive in any system. But one thing that is less talked about is his character and incredible will. Many people like to talk about his aura and how he looks like the Maldinis and Nestas of the early 2000s. I mean, it's hard to argue judging by his playing style and calmness. However, that's nothing compared to his mentality when his career almost ended. Many kids suffered that kind of injury at such a young age would have given up, but Calafiori embraced the challenge. After getting injured, he wrote a lengthy message on his Instagram, but what struck me the most were these lines: "A bad knee injury will keep me sidelined for a long period and will keep me away from the pitch, but the desire to come back stronger than before will increase every day. For the upteenth time, I find myself faced with a very difficult challenge, but as always, I will win." Damn, that's such a mentality at 16 years old. No wonder he's already been compared to all-time greats. But for those still playing, which top defenders can we compare him with? Because of his constant movement in the double pivot, Calafiori was always a passing option for his teammates. He received 1,408 passes across the season and never shied away from the ball. Facing his maker or with his back to the goal, he'd receive the ball and make darting runs into the opposition half. He was so effective in this strategy that he ranked the 3rd highest defender for attempted take-ons and completed take-ons. So, it wasn't surprising when the fans started calling him the Italian John Stones. I know you see the similarities too. Having shone so brightly at the Euros, it's no shock that the biggest clubs in the world have come calling. So, where will he be playing his next season? With his manager, Thiago Motta, joining Juventus, rumours started circulating about the player joining his boss in Turin. After all, the defender credited Motta for helping him take his game to the next level. But with the relationship between Juventus and Bologna sour because of Motta, that move was ruled out. Then, after Italy got knocked out of the Euros, sports journalist Fabrizio Romano tweeted that the defender was on the radar of Arsenal and Chelsea. He, however, mentioned that only Arsenal presented a long-term project to the player. Because of the rapport between Arsenal and Bologna, the rumours have already been spread that Calafiori has agreed on personal terms with the Gunners. Should he end up at Arsenal, it is expected that Mikel Arteta will improve him further, judging by what he did with William Saliba and Gabriel. For Italians, he's already the best defender in the world. At Arsenal, he'll get the biggest stage to show why many regard him as the reincarnation of Paolo Maldini. Still, Calafiori might be the best defender in the world right now, but his impact is still nothing compared to what Arda Güler is doing with Turkey. I'm talking long-range shots, dazzling footwork. Click on the video to find out.